Now the code here is very short, but it's way more powerful than our previous examples were, and we can see that by using this same code for a completely different example. So let's go ahead and comment out this line where we're printing out the peach example, and let's uncomment out this next example here. Now in this example, we're using a different type of commenting as well in order to comment out multiple lines. The structure is a / and then an asterisk, and then when we want to end the comment, we use an asterisk and then another /. To uncomment this, we just need to remove the /* and the */ and then save it. So this next example is an example of a virtual twister spinner. So if you remember the twister game from your childhood, you spin a dial and it points to a particular color for a particular limb on a particular side of your body, and that determines what colored circle you're supposed to put which limb on the twister board, which is on the floor. So the data we need to know in order to make this spinner work is which limb we need to move, either our foot or our hand, what side of the body it's on, either the right or the left, and what colored circle to put it on. And so the string here is put your location, which is either right or left, limb, which is either hand or foot, on a color, which is either red, green, blue, or yellow, circle. Now the placeholders we're using are all in capitals, but they can be anything we want because we're determining what the placeholder is here. They could be lowercase, they could be a different type of character to indicate that it's a placeholder instead of part of the string. We have a lot of flexibility there. And so here are the replacements. We have location, limb, and color, and our options are here. So when we go ahead and print this out, let's go ahead and make sure that this is saved and jump back to the browser. It says this first time around, put your right foot on a green circle. If we refresh again, it says put your left hand on a yellow circle. I'm going to jump back to the code. So this is a sign that our code is getting more mature and more flexible because we can use the same code for multiple purposes. We've successfully identified what the general problem is that we're trying to solve, and we found a couple implementations that exercise that. You can create a Mad Lib style story with placeholders where there might be nouns or verbs or adjectives and add some good randomness to the story. You could create a magic 8-ball in order to display a fortune or an answer to a random question. My personal favorite, you can create a band name generator or maybe even a randomized fortune cookie. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out here was that if you compare this with our previous example, I'm going to go ahead and look at the 14th step, which is peach code as a function. I mentioned a couple of times that we had some duplication of code. So you see here this array flip, then array rand process, and you see that repeated 3 times. We have the same basic structure here 3 times in our code. Well, in our new code, we were able to reduce this repetition. I'm going to jump back to it, and you see that we're doing the same thing here, but we only have to do it once because we've pulled the data out into something that we're going to pass to the function. We can even have 1,000 replacements here, and this function will work just as well. So we're on the right track. Let's go ahead and take another look at an implementation of a function that makes our life easier with our people database example.